3-week Minecraft phase is something we've all fallen victim to. We get this sudden urge to build and explore, to create our own journey and our own story. So why do we only last 3 weeks when we think it'll last for an eternity? Why do we leave our dogs at home waiting for us to return? We leave a world that is slowly forgotten. When you get the urge to play Minecraft, I believe it's because you want a break. You want to default back to being creative. So, you insert your disc, sit back, and let the game boot up. You load into a survival world with some of your friends, or just yourself, and you are hit with the nostalgic loop of when times were simpler. The music arises, and you feel at peace. Your first instinct is to grab wood. There are clear goals in mind: explore, gather resources, create, and the end. You create your first wooden tools, gather stone, and maybe even get some iron. You smelt it down and spend your first night in a dirt hole. Morning comes and you build a dirt house, gather your things and explore some more. You visit villages, explore caves, even find a beautiful landscape to build your house. All these small triggers of dopamine are rewarding. The loop is satisfying and the hours begin to feel like minutes. You're in a flow state, and what once felt strange is now feeling like second nature. After building your house, you gather even more resources, maybe even get some pets along the way. You make a farm for food, you go fishing, and most importantly, you set a goal for diamonds. So you dive deeper into the caves with hopes of increasing your armor. Once found, you return to the base and sleep. Hours really are starting to feel like minutes. You can't believe the time and decide to head to bed. You go to sleep thinking about the huge skyscrapers and things that you could build and what you'll do the next day. You're filled with wishful thinking of the future without realizing you're subconsciously tearing it all down in your head. So you get on the next day and continue your exploration. You build more and things are looking great. You decide to take a break from building and gather more resources. You plant sugarcane and decide to gather more diamonds so you can begin enchanting your gear. Your next goal is the Nether. At this point, you've had your fun with the overworld, and the main thing now is to continue your journey. So you visit the Nether and find another fortress. You gather what you need and head back. You craft and grind for hours on end, thinking about the Ender Dragon and all the incredible things you'll build once you gather everything you need. Seconds turn to hours and minutes turn to days. Your mind continuously wanders, grasping onto the future of what you'll build and explore, thinking of all the great things you'll do. Maybe you'll get so good to the point you have an automatic farm for everything you ever need, letting your creativity run wild. You can't believe how much fun you're having, and you can't wait to play. But the truth is, it's all almost over, and you've almost ripped all of the excitement and dopamine that there is. Soon, this will all be forgotten. You gather your armor, you take resources, you say goodbye to your pets. And ride your horse into the sun. ridding yourself of excitement and joy. Without realization, you arrive to the end. You stare at the portal. How long has it been now? A couple of days? No. Weeks maybe? You realize it has been almost 3 weeks since you started playing. Something that only felt like yesterday when you were just loading up Minecraft once again, doing simple tasks, exploring a world that had yet been seen. It all felt so surreal, so new, so exciting. But somewhere along the way, it all got too familiar. So you search for more, you rush to the next exciting thing without a care, and suddenly, you got to the end. You slayed the dragon. Your horses left, and you head home. What a journey it's been. You made it. You unpack the ideas you'd been keeping in for this moment, and suddenly you're filled with thoughts and endless possibilities of what could be created. You decided to rest and start again tomorrow. You did it without realizing. You didn't know, and you didn't mean to. You'd reached the end after all. You log on. Your mind wanders. You run around your base looking for something. Maybe you should gather more materials, but what for? You start a new build, but slowly forget about it and leave it incomplete. You log off for the day, not knowing that that was the last time you'd enter that world. Not knowing that that was the last of your ideas coursing through your mind. At the beginning, you were so full of hope and wonder. You rushed towards the sun and burnt yourself. It was only a small burn, but it formed into a bigger scar than you would realize. Years pass, and the world you had once forgotten somehow finds its way back to you. You find yourself in the same situation again. You log on, but this time you decide to check out your old world. You run around your old base, looking around at the plans you had once started but never finished. All the ideas forgotten, things left untouched. And you wonder to yourself for years, why did you stop? Why did you give up? You were good. So why did you live for the rush and not the journey? You didn't even let your wings spread. They died out before they could even reach you. You were so full of hope and wonder. You focused on the wrong instead of the right, rushing towards the next big thing. But maybe if you stopped, waited, and soaked it all in, you would have still been creating, exploring, and you would have still been yourself.